Hey guys, Ryan here from Indy Wrestling School, and today we're talking about my interactions with the Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan. Greta coming up. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. If you're new here, please consider subscribing below. We put out new videos all the time. The wrestling world lost a legendary figure this week in Kevin Sullivan. This is not the type of video I normally do, but because I had a couple of interactions over the years with Kevin Sullivan, and I was fortunate enough to spend some time with him, and he took the time to teach me a couple things, I thought it was important to come out here and just discuss the Kevin Sullivan that I got to interact with. And so the first time I met Kevin Sullivan, he actually wasn't even scheduled to be on our show. We had booked Shane Douglas, and he was coming from maybe a convention or something like that, and Kevin Sullivan was with them. And on the drive there, they said, hey, Kevin's tagging along, just wanted to check out the show. If you have anything for him, he'd love to do it. And I immediately said, yes, let's get him on the show. So we put him in a match, and, I originally set up, 10 minutes for the match or whatever. And he got there and he said, we can do 10 minutes, no problem, but I don't think anybody wants to see the old guy beating one of your current wrestlers around for 10 minutes. Happy to do it, but I think it makes more sense to do a chaotic 6-7 minute match. This way, after a while, the fans start to worry about the old guy in the ring, and you don't want to make them uncomfortable. So for him as a legend to have the self-awareness and to understand the audience without ever having been to any of our shows immediately blew me away. The other thing that he brought up was, as soon as he got there, he asked me for the box scores for the Red Sox game. Now I had a Red Sox hat on that I usually wear, and I'm not the biggest baseball fan in the world. I like the Red Sox. If I had to pick a team, that's my team. I like the hat more than I like the team. So he asked me for this score, so I pulled them up on my phone, and he said, no, the box scores. And I'm like, oh, okay, hang on, let me go get those for you. I didn't know what the box scores are. So I asked around a couple people I know who watch like real sports. Nobody knew what the box scores are. So my buddy Vin was like, I don't know what that is. So we're all trying to figure out what box scores are. And the only thing I could gather was maybe it's a more detailed scoring. So I gave him this full score with, the breakdown of like innings and, the runs and everything, pitches that were thrown, everything I could find. And I showed it to him on my phone. He goes, no, that's great, but I need the box scores. To this day, I have no idea what box scores are. And the second time we brought him back, he fought one of our other guys, Pele Primo, and they did the same style of match. It was a quick, fast-paced match, a lot of chaos and everything, because I knew that was kind of what he was looking to do. And they created a couple memorable spots and did a couple memorable things during the match. So we went out to eat afterwards, and my wife was with me. Her mom is from Scotland, and I think Kevin Sullivan is Irish, as best I know. And for whatever reason, he just was fascinated by her Scottish heritage. I mean, just the whole night. Meanwhile, we're all sitting there like, we want to talk wrestling. But he was just all about learning about other cultures and other people, and, just super interested in learning about other people. And, my wife doesn't know a ton of wrestlers, but to this day remembers Kevin Sullivan. And it was during this show that he came up to me, and he saw all the cameras that, I film with a ton of cameras. And he said, hey, what do you do with all this footage? And I said, well, we usually edit it, and then, we at the time we were selling DVDs still, if you could believe that. And he said, okay, that's good. Just you're not just putting it on YouTube or anything like that, are you? And I said, no, because at the time we weren't. And he said, good. Never give your content away for free. And he explained all these different reasons why he thought it was not a good idea, and how it would keep fans from continually buying tickets and everything like that. And I know things have changed over time with, everything has video now. Facebook has video, Twitter has video, they all have video. So things have changed a little bit, but everything he was saying, he was so concerned that in recording the show and putting it out there, we might be pulling fans away from potentially buying tickets. And it meant so much to him, it was so important to him, that he sat there for 15-20 minutes explaining to me why he thought it wasn't a good idea. Now, this is a guy who's coming in once or twice a year for us. It's not, this is not how he's making his living. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't paying him enough, like, he just was one of those guys who couldn't help it. He had to sit there and explain to you what you were doing wrong, what you were doing right, or at least give you his opinion and his feedback. And that's so needed in professional wrestling. There needs to be more guys like that. And the last time we used him, he actually, I believe he was injured at the time, or he couldn't wrestle or something like that. So he wasn't able to compete, and we still had him come. And at the time we were doing a show with all my friends that was just for us. And I said, can you come and film like, I don't know, 10 vignettes for this faction we're doing? They're like a creepy faction. And if you can just film 10 vignettes, and we can air them over the course of the entire season. We'll just do one every other episode or something like that. He said, yeah, no problem, but I can't do his voice. So we asked him to do 10 vignettes. Now the problem was I forgot to write vignettes. So I just said, hey, can you guys just go and film, 10 different things, just saying, whatever for a couple different scenarios, and we'll work it into the show. And he looked at me and he said, so you don't know what you want me to say? And I said, I forgot to write it. He goes, that's perfect. I got you. And went off and did 10 vignettes. I don't think he messed up a single take. Banged out 10 promos right in a row, one after another, in the span of 15 minutes. I mean, you want to talk about a professional.
Pretty much Kevin sees potential in us. So.
That's it, right? I see potential in this one.
Become champions.
This is the new dynasty.
5, 4, 3.
This is a must-win situation, guys.
5, 4, 3, 2.
You see, I brought this to show you something. Tonight, we're flying. We're going to attack. Bombers in the sky. Because it's over the budget. And not only is it over the budget, it's bring home the gold. Tonight, new tag team champions will arise from the depths.
Now, once somebody passes away, obviously, there's so many of us that all wish we had more photos. And I have a group photo with all of us and Kevin Sullivan from one of the shows. But we have the one, and that's good. Obviously, I wish I had more. But I was digging around and, just trying to come up with some additional photos for, knowing I was going to do this video. And I remembered I used to wear, I still do, but I used to wear a camera that it clips to your shirt, and it takes a photo every 30 seconds. I was lucky enough that I found a couple of photos in there. Now, they're not the best quality. They're 5 or 8 megapixel photos, and they're always blurry because you're moving around during the day and it's not fixed on one subject. But I found the photos of him asking me for the box score, of me showing him the box score, of me looking up the box score, and then just him talking to people on the roster, giving advice to people, just walking around, watching every match, and giving advice. And so obviously I didn't have as big of a connection with Kevin Sullivan as so many other people do. But in the brief time I got to spend with him, I learned so much. Some of the things that he was able to teach me, I've been able to put on this channel, and other people have seen it. And maybe if they're starting their own promotion, they've then learned from Kevin Sullivan. So if that keeps going, and this channel can keep going, and people watching this can keep pulling from a true wrestling genius like Kevin Sullivan, I think the business will continually be better off. Thanks for watching this video, and thank you, Kevin Sullivan. I'll see you next time.
I love it when a plan comes together.